Okay, we're going to get started. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming tonight. I especially want to thank those parents who came earlier and heard our social media presentation. I think it was very informative, and while I told some of the parents earlier it's a bit scary, I think it's important that as parents in this day and age, you are very involved with your children and what they're doing on their phones, especially at night when we're sleeping. But it is my pleasure to be here tonight as the principal of Horace Greeley High School. It's an honor. I've been in education for over 35 years in several different school districts, and I can say without any hesitation that this high school is amazing. And I think one word resonates strongly with me when I think about this high school, and that's the word opportunity. This high school offers an extensive array of opportunities from performing arts to STEM, the arts, humanities, science. It's current. Our teachers are experienced, and they keep themselves relevant, and they keep themselves informed, and they are on top of their game when it comes to the newest teaching methodologies and the newest way to utilize spaces. And your children are very fortunate to go here because when they come to the high school, that's it. Their world is their oyster. They have opportunity to explore and really venture and look at within themselves. What are their passions? What are they interested in? And really develop those passions as they go through high school. So we are excited to share our program tonight, and we are going to really go through an abundant array of information for you tonight, but we have emails and we're here to communicate with you and help you along this journey tonight. But before we get started, I would like to thank Lauren Olmo, one of our assistant principals. She organized tonight's presentations with our department chairs, and I'm going to invite her up now to make some more thank yous.
Thank you, Dr. Seppi. First off, I would like to thank Frank Guglieri, who was just giving our wonderful presentation about social media awareness. Again, I am one of the assistant principals here at Horace Greeley High School, and on behalf of the administration team, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all the parents, guardians, and families to the class of 2028. Woo! I would also like to take a moment to thank some people who helped us make tonight possible. Dr. Ray Lucia was playing with the wonderful Greeley Stage Band earlier this evening. Thank you for showcasing their talents. And our acting head custodian, Ron Deegan, and the rest of our custodial school crew that helped us prepare for this evening, and Laura Radonovich, who also was instrumental from our clerical staff in preparing all the paperwork for tonight, and lastly, but most importantly, Mr. David Hayes and Xavier White, who helped behind the scenes with technology and the recording for tonight's presentation. Tonight we have arranged for you to briefly meet some important people here at Greeley to start to connect a face with a name and a role. We hope you take away some valuable information and get a great overview of our many incredible programs. And here's Dr. Seppi to continue with our introductions.
So first I'd like to introduce our administrative team. So I'd like to invite our assistant principals to come up, and they're going to introduce the counselors that they work with. We have a very unique system at Horace Greeley High School. So in many large high schools, assistant principals are organized by grade level. A couple of years ago, the counseling department and the assistant principals reorganized it so that each assistant principal works very closely with two counselors. This enables them to better get to know all the children on their caseload and really help give more oversight to their academic program, their social emotional program. And so I'm going to have each assistant principal come up and identify which counselors they work with. So I'm going to start with Dr. Ron Gamma, who's been here 6 years and our most experienced administrator on the team.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. I also realized this morning I'm actually wearing the same outfit that I was in my picture. So as Dr. Seppi mentioned, we're all organized, paired up with counselors. So throughout the 4 years that your students are here, they'll work closely with their counselors, and then we're the assistant principal that would also be working with them. So I work very closely with Miss Annalise Curtin and Rebecca Mullen, who you'll meet a little bit later.
I'd now like to introduce our new assistant principal, Miss Karime Flores.
Good evening. I have the pleasure of working with Mr. Matt Friedler and Mr. John Brennan, who are here in spirit.
Dr. Joseph Sullivan.
Thank you, Dr. Seppi, and welcome everybody. I work closely with Ms. Bernadette Kenny and Ms. Sarah Lewis, and I look forward to working with all of you and your children.
And Ms. Lauren Olmo.
Hey again, everyone. I have the privilege of working with Mr. John Dunphy and Mr. Connor Lander, and look forward to meeting all of your freshmen.
And I want to point out that your counseling team, which they will mention this as well, and your assistant principals, they are often your first point of contact. If you have questions, if your child is struggling in class, please don't hesitate to reach out to our assistant principals because they're here to support. Oftentimes we think in terms of, and it's an administrator's calling us, it has to do with discipline. That is not the case at Horace Greeley. We often reach out as a support measure to help your children. Next, very important, sometimes when you get to the high school, what happens is all the information you used to get in the middle schools suddenly stops coming home, or your children suddenly stop talking to you because they're just at that age when they want to keep secrets or keep things to themselves. And so I can't explain enough how important the role of the PTA is. They are very involved in our high school. They are extremely supportive of all of our events, our programs, and they send a very important newsletter home every week that I find helpful to keep track of all the different events, what day of the week it is, and all the happenings at the high school. So we really greatly appreciate their work. We encourage you to join. And now I'd like to invite up Tema Bombeck, who's going to next year be our president.
Hi, I'm Tema Bombeck. I'm the Greeley PTA Vice Chair and will be the chair next year. As the parent of 3 Greeley grads and a current 10th grader, I've had many years to see and be part of the diverse volunteer opportunities that the PTA offers for parents, both behind the scenes, a little time, a lot of time, and even in-school events. And believe it or not, even if your kids didn't want you in the middle school to volunteer, things come full circle and you are welcomed again. So at Greeley, the PTA runs and supports many high school activities, events, and traditions, but it really only functions best when properly supported by volunteers. So in a nutshell, we really need your help. So the best way to stay connected is by signing up for the PTA through Membership Toolkit that many of you have probably done through elementary and middle, but if you haven't, it's the QR code on the right. Your left, sorry. And this is how you will find out about event and opportunity notifications, the weekly Greeley mail that Dr. Seppi just referenced, which has a class of 2028 section and should have all the news you need to know. But just briefly, the couple of positions that we do need for this class to fill by the end of the school year are 2 parent liaisons for the class of 2028. Each grade has their own. These liaisons work as co-chairs for all 4 years of high school and serve as a link between the class students, class leadership, parents, PTA, and the school administration. So you attend and plan many of the events over the course of the 4 years, especially senior year. So if you're interested in that opportunity or any other volunteer opportunity, you can do the QR code on your right, or don't worry, we're sending another email within the month, so be on the lookout. And that said, I look forward to meeting and working with you, and I am always here if you have questions, and thank you in advance for all the support and help that you can give us through the years.
And I saw the PTA had their display of Greeley out there. The amount of school pride that Greeley kids have is immeasurable because I've never seen a student body wear so much school pride wear. Even in my own closet, I must now have 15 Greeley sweatshirts and for every sport. And so your children, if you don't have Greeley wear yet, you need to get some because it is popular and we often see all the kids wearing the pajamas, the sweatshirts, every day, all the time. So I wanted to stress that to you before you left to make sure you pick up some. Next, I'd like to introduce our scholarship fund. We have President Julianne Metzger.
Hello, everyone. I'm thrilled to speak to you tonight about the Horace Greeley Scholarship Fund. As mentioned, my name is Julianne Metzger, and I'm proud to be the president this year of the Horace Greeley Scholarship Fund. As you all know, college is expensive, and costs are continuing to rise. For almost 80 years, the Horace Greeley Scholarship Fund has provided financial awards to Greeley graduates who demonstrate a need to help pay for college after other financial resources, including scholarships, federal financial aid, and loans, are exhausted. Two main points I want to make tonight. First, if in addition to your rising ninth grader, you also have a senior or a Greeley grad, please consider applying to our fund if you believe you'll have gaps in paying for your college future. That's exactly what we're here for. Applications are open, and they're available on our website, hgsf.org. So go check that out. The only prerequisite to apply for a grant from HDSF is that the applicant be a Greeley senior or a recent graduate. The fund awards grants strictly based on financial need, and applications are completely confidential. Second, in addition to highlighting our application process, I'd also like to encourage everyone to participate in HDSF events and fundraising. Now more than ever, HDSF needs the support of our community. Bottom line, last year, through the amazing generosity of our community, we were able to award over $500,000 to applicants. Thank you. Thank you for the applause. It's fantastic, and it was incredible, but that only met half of the demonstrated need in our community of people that applied for grants. It was $1 million of need. So, once again, with the help of our community, we are hoping to fill more and all of the need in 2024. Our spring benefit is on April 12th at the Whippoorwill Club, and we'd love to see you there. There are many other ways to support our work, and we appreciate all contributions. Please keep us in mind as a resource if you need us for college planning, and please visit our website to learn more or to make a donation. Thank you, as always, to the generous community of Chappaqua families and students who continue to support both us and each other and our mission of ensuring that every Greeley graduate has the opportunity to attend college. Thank you.
Also, we just wanted to point out the main office staff. If you call the main office because you have a question, we have Ms. Rossing, Ms. Giordano, Ms. Radovanovich, Ms. Delorlio. So they're all here to help you and be at your assistance. And then the attendance clerk is Ms. Labreglio, and she's very helpful and supportive. We are going to have this up on our website. We're also going to have this videotaped for you. But if you feel like you need the attendance clerk information, you're welcome to take a quick picture of it and have it on hand. But we just wanted to point out some of the people that you're going to be working with. We are very fortunate in that we have a school resource officer in addition to our security team at Horace Greeley. So she's always here. She's always on duty. If she's absent, we have somebody in her place. But we feel very secure, and really she is a tremendous support to everyone at our campus. Our nurses, Ms. Caruso and Ms. McCaffrey, of course, they're always here to help you. If your child's sick, you contact them. They're good at giving directions, telling you when you need to see your doctor, helpful if your child has COVID and need remote learning. So they're a great resource for you as well. And then we have our class of 2028 advisors. This is a tremendous honor for me to welcome up these two. We have Sue Moore and John Brignano, who are returning to advisorships, and I can't applaud them enough for their enthusiasm.
Thank you. So we kind of caught the bug last year when we were helping out at prom and said, wow, how long has it been? What do you think? And so we're very excited to be working together to help coordinate what? Give me some ideas. Pasta dinner. He doesn't need the microphone. Valograms, prom, all the fun activities going from 9th through 12th grade. Oh, tag sale, yes, okay. So we'll see what ideas the kids come up with. It doesn't have to be our ideas, but yeah, okay, that's enough.
Daffodils, do we still do daffodils?
We had a daffodil day, but that was 20 years ago, so, let's see. Just a quick question, because I'm always curious. Any people in the audience already have students at Greeley? Yes, thank you. And second question, any of you were graduates from Greeley? Yes. That is amazing. But if you tell me I taught you, I'm going to deny it. So that's all I have to say. Thank you. No, no, no. Thank you.
Collectively, we've been here about 50 years, so
Could be.
we're hoping to bring a little bit of nostalgia and a little bit of make some memories for your children while we have them perform.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Student Life, we have our new interim Student Life Coordinator, Lauren Pizzola. Please welcome her.
Hello, my name's Lauren Pizzola, and like Dr. Sepe said, I'm the interim student life coordinator here at Greeley. In my role, I'm really here to support and oversee our student clubs, events, the community and culture here. We really think it's vital and important for students to feel that sense of belonging and have a place that they can call home and be involved. A part of Greeley, we have over 100 different clubs here, and I know they might want to join all 100, but they can't all meet at once. So that being said, we do have an important club fair in the fall where students will be able to learn and meet and sign up for any club that they might be interested in. We do provide a virtual catalog, so that way before the event, they are able to learn about them and the different opportunities that they provide. We support and we love all of our clubs here, and that being said, it's encouraged and highly expected that they are to join. There's a variety of different programs, events, fundraising efforts, and volunteer for them to be a part of. My office and door is always open. It is in the same office as Officer Michelle, so I hope they pop in, and I look forward to meeting them in September.
Thank you. If you have not yet had children who have come to Greeley, the club fair is definitely the biggest, most exciting day of the year. Kids are here at 6:45 a.m. They're setting up. They're excited. They've got breakfast, signs, enthusiasm. So it's really a big day for ninth graders to start choosing their interests and passions and what they want to get involved with. So you don't want to miss out on when the club fair is. Athletics, Mr. Block couldn't be here tonight, but he is our Director of Athletics, and we had a handout for you that gives you the little information on Greeley Athletics and a lot of question and answers that you can read over tonight when you get home. Our peer leadership advisors, I'd like to invite them up. This is a well-established program that everybody wants to be a part of, and I'm going to have Mr. Petruso talk a little bit about it.
Thank you. The peer leadership program has been around since the 1980s. I've been connected with it since the 1900s, 1999 to be exact. It's a fabulous program where juniors and seniors come together. They learn a lot of skills in group facilitation, in getting basically your ninth grader from being an 8th grader to being a 10th grader, right? It meets once a cycle during day 6, and then immediately afterwards we meet with the peer leaders to debrief, give them more skills, and these are activities to promote their kind of integration into the Greeley community. Fabulous program, and I'm honored to be connected with it. Thank you very much.
And sometimes ninth graders might give their parents a mixed message, like, oh, it's day 6, it's peer leadership, I don't have to go in, I can sleep in. That is not the case. Your child is expected to be here. This is how they form connections with other children in their grade, because we have 2 middle schools that are now combining at the high school between Bell and Seven Bridges. So this is a way, an opportunity for them to get to know other students in their grade. It's also a fabulous opportunity to work with upperclassmen, junior and senior leaders who are pillars of our school community, who really are there to support your children and help them along their path and take their responsibility very, very seriously. So if you want your child to be well-adjusted and come up and feel comfortable in this community, in 9th grade, you must get them here on day 6 because it is a phenomenal program. We highly value it. And how many, Mr. Petruso, students just applied to be peer leaders? Absolutely. So please make sure your children get here for that. A little bit now, this looks a little daunting, and we're going to talk about this in August, but we do have a 6-day schedule at the high school, and it varies day to day based on whether it's a day 1, you start with course 1, or a day 3, it starts with course 3. This will be thoroughly explained to you and your children in August when you come for your tour of the building. Okay. Okay, so we want to move on. We want to meet the department chairs because they're going to go over their programs for tonight. And again, you're welcome to write down your questions, email us. We'll stay up at the end to answer any questions you might have. So first, I'd like to start with Ms. Mullen, who is our Director of Counseling.
Thank you, Dr. Seppi. My name is Rebecca Mullen, and I'm the chairperson of Counseling Department. We are comprised of 8 school counselors, 3 psychologists, a student assistance counselor, and the coordinator of student life. I'm so happy to share that our work with your children began on Wednesday when the 8 counselors visited Seven Bridges Middle School to meet with the 8th graders and to answer lots of questions about the high school. Tomorrow, we'll be meeting with all the 8th graders at Bell. In our first meeting with your kids, we could tell that the 8th graders are feeling both very excited and a little nervous about coming to Greeley next year. They had many good questions about clubs, activities, homework, and even sports. We spoke with them about what our role will be in their lives over the course of the next 4 years of high school, and we also told them that truly the secret to success at Greeley is being able to ask for help when they need it, and that's a message that we're going to continue to deliver to them over and over. August is a very important month for counseling. It's when you will receive an email with all of the important information that you and your children need to start at Greeley. In that email will be the name of your child's counselor and information about how to sign up for the tour with the counselor at the end of August. So if you're planning your summer vacation, it's really important to have the kids be here those few days in August before school begins because there's a lot of orientation that happens during that time. At that tour, your children will receive their schedules and meet their counselors for the first time. For those of you who have older children at Greeley, please know that they'll be getting their schedules in June, but the incoming 9th graders won't receive them until August. So as counselors, our role is to help monitor and support your children's academic, social, and emotional health throughout their 4 years of high school. We take this role very seriously, and we meet regularly with students individually, in small groups, in larger group settings, and during our yearly family meetings. We monitor their academic performance by reviewing progress reports, report cards, and by checking in with their teachers. We will be the ones to help them choose their classes each year and to guide them step by step through the college application process beginning in junior year. As your child goes through Greeley, it's really important to remind you that your counselor is your first point of contact if you have questions or if you have concerns about your child struggling. I know that the college process is foremost on many people's minds, and I'd like to address some common questions that come up. It's important to remember that your kids are about to start at a very well-established high school. For example, this past year, our seniors matriculated at over 200 different colleges and universities, so that's a lot more than the 40 you probably hear about. These colleges know our school, our teachers, and our curriculum really, really well. They know this because each fall, more than 200 college admissions counselors come to visit us in person. And in addition to that, the 8 school counselors meet with them every year to do intensive application reads. In other words, reading applications and figuring out who gets in and who doesn't. It's a very fun exercise that we've been doing for a long time. I share that to let you know that the admissions counselors are very aware of the options that are available to Greeley 9th graders. And as counselors, we are very well versed in the college process. And we regularly meet with the college representatives to deeply understand how to help every child in choosing the best path for after high school. So over the next few years, we will be encouraging them to not only do well academically, but also to become involved in the school community, to join clubs, and to volunteer their time to help others. It's through those opportunities that we see the biggest opportunities for growth in our students. Please know that it's important to us, and we work really hard to create a sense of belonging for each one of your children. And that work started when we met them on Wednesday. So on behalf of my colleagues, I want you to know that we really look forward to welcoming your children to Greeley. And don't forget, we're also here to help you every step of the way. So thank you.
What I'm really doing is scanning to see if I see any of my former students. So good evening. My name is Jacqueline Hebert, and it's an honor to be with you as the chairperson of the English department here at Greeley. So my presentation is actually very brief because all ninth graders in English will take English 9. So English 9 is a heterogeneously grouped class that is very much skills-based and really designed with the idea that we are supporting the transition of your children from 8th to 9th grade. So often families will ask me, well, what's the biggest difference between 8th grade English and 9th grade English? And so what I'm about to tell you, I've heard from kids, and they say the biggest difference is that I have to read, and I have to read at home. Homework. So our English 9 team did say that it would be helpful if I would mention that we do assign nightly reading homework. Now, I would argue, right, that that is a gift. I'm really dating myself, but some of you may remember a literacy campaign, reading is fundamental. Are you familiar with that? Wait, it never gets old for me. So that campaign actually supports, their mission is all about fostering joy in reading. Okay. So more seriously, the English department really wants all of our students, 9 through 12, to read literary texts from a variety of traditions, historical periods, different genres, really with an alertness to complexity, and, I say this all the time, an openness to pleasure. Okay. Because reading is fundamental. Okay. So our 9th grade students will also be expected to write very frequently in a variety of genres. We are so much focused really on writing as a process. We do a lot with actionable feedback. Students have many opportunities to revise their work, and we're really here as a department to support you and your children. So the English department is very excited to welcome your children in September. I hope that you feel comfortable in reaching out to me if you have any questions between now and September, and if you're interested in any book recommendations, I am your person. Thank you so much.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Glenn Wong, and I'm the chair of the math department. Welcome. I have the pleasure of talking about our math program tonight. In thinking about our math program for our students before we think about content, the math department thought about several overarching goals. Top among that is that we wanted to provide every student with the opportunity when they enter Greeley with a 4-year math program. We believe strongly that students, when they are in similar courses or the same course but with different teachers, should have similar experiences. This extends to rigor, to depth, to breadth of information, challenge. Our third goal in talking about challenge is that we try to develop courses that will challenge all of our students, but at the same time we do so with the idea that they can be successful in that course. And then finally, we try to blend content knowledge with problem solving in all of our 9th grade courses. If we take a look at our specific course offerings, we see that they're built upon the 8th grade experience in either algebra or enriched algebra. Those are the 2 courses that all your children should be enrolled in, one of those 2. For students who feel that they need a second year of algebra in order to strengthen their mathematical foundation, we have 2 courses, Essentials of Algebra 1 and Cornerstones of High School Mathematics. For those students who are ready to delve into our geometry curriculum as a 9th grader, we have 3 levels of geometry, which are geometry, enriched geometry, and Math 9 honors. To give you a sense of Math 9 honors, that's essentially 2 years of math, geometry, and algebra 2 rolled into 1 year, so it's considered an enriched course as well as accelerated. That was really quick and brief, so I'm going to recommend very heavily that we have this great decisions book that's online, and it gives a lot more detail as to each of these courses and their descriptions, and it also places these 9th grade courses within the larger picture of how they fit into the 4-year experience here at Greeley. So thank you very much, and I'm going to introduce Kathleen Feldman from our Performing Arts Department.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Glenn. So I am going to introduce the performing arts that encompasses music and theater. Now, unlike the middle school, your child doesn't have to take music or art, but they must take 1 year of either music or music, performing art or a visual art. So these are going to be the offerings. I'm going to tell you about music and theater, and our students often find a sense of belonging in our courses right from the get-go, from the first day. They're going to find friends that they know. They're going to have class with somebody, guaranteed, that they know, and they're going to be with people who have a shared purpose, a shared interest. So the band, orchestra, and chorus program is very much like what they already have at the middle school, except we meet 4 out of 6 cycle days. The key difference is that we do not pull students out of classes for lessons. And I'm sure some of you are taking a sigh of relief for that, because we know that that does put a strain on students and their ability to keep up in their classes, and also they're worried about their grades in both classes, so we do not do that here at Greeley. The chorus is a 9 through 12 ensemble in terms of grades, but the band and the orchestra, we keep them just like at the middle school, a single grade ensemble to continue to work on their technique, to refine their musicianship, so that this way if they continue, and many of our students choose to stay with us for 4 years, we do many concerts and sometimes performances out in the community, so many opportunities for them. But if they choose to continue, there are more advanced groups in grades 10 through 12, and then they're all together for the remaining years at Greeley. For those who want an added enriched experience, we have after-school ensembles, but they must be in the daytime group to be part of some of them. The chamber orchestra and stage band are auditioned groups. Those are after-school extracurricular for credit, but they're by audition, and you must be in the regular band or orchestra class to be considered for that. There's also the pep band if you want to play for the football games. And there is, the madrigals and the treble choir. So lots of opportunities for students to continue playing their instrument. Now before we go to the next slide, a common concern that we hear from students and often parents is that I'm not good enough to play at Greeley. I can't play at the high school. And that is so far from the truth. Everybody is welcome, even students who may have stopped their instrument in 7th grade or 6th grade, and they have some experience and they want to keep playing their instrument or keep playing singing. Do it. We encourage you. Please keep playing your instrument. We will meet you at your level. We're very, very familiar with the middle school curriculum, with our colleagues there. We know exactly what they've been going through, what they've been learning, and we meet them all where they are. From the people who play at the highest level, who go to NYSSMA, who go to All County and do all these extra opportunities, to the students who have just been doing this in school, and they want to continue as they've been doing as a school musician. So please don't let that hold you back. Note reading, all of that stuff. We catch them up. We just meet them where they are. Okay, so in the next slide, for the students who maybe are not into a performing group but want a musical experience, our piano and guitar students often find a home in these courses. It's as if we took the general music course and blew it out into specializations. We have Music Theory 1, which could later lead to AP Music Theory down the road. That is not for 9th graders. Digital Songwriting 1 and possibly 2. Composition with computer programs. A lot of a cappella students find enjoyment in that. And the history of popular music. It used to be a moldy oldie class, and we spruced it up a bit and made it with popular music. So those are our music offerings. And please reach out to me if you have any questions. We will be going to the music classes to talk more in detail about those opportunities as well. So we do have a theater person on staff, and there are acting classes during the day. We have Acting 1, open to 9th graders, and musical theater. So if a student has prior experience in acting and thinks, oh, Acting 1 might not be for me, I'm gonna take Acting 2 in the spring, because we do have a 2, 3, 4. But they still wanted to be part of the acting program during the day. We want them to consider musical theater. Here, they have an opportunity to study musical pieces, musicals, to attend a musical, to put on a performance, to think about preparing an audition, maybe doing acting at a slightly higher level than just entry level. So please, one of those 2 courses they could consider. And there's also this course called Speech Communication. So that's just public speaking. So if you like this presentation today, please consider public speaking course. Any student, open to any student at Greeley, and we recommend public speaking because it is an essential skill. They're going to be doing presentations in their English class, in their social studies class, any class you can imagine, they will be presenting. So it is a valuable skill for them to learn. So that is open to all 9th graders, regardless of their interest in music or theater. And then we do have a fall drama, and we have a spring musical that is school-wide. It's open to all. You do not have to be part of a music or theater class. You can audition just like they do for the Legally Blonde's coming up at the middle school, one of the middle schools. Same idea. It's a school-wide musical. And that is not for credit, but if you're a young theater person is not into being on the stage and they want to be behind the scenes, they want to do sound design or lighting design or work with their hands and build sets, we recommend Stagecraft. That's an after school once per week, and also they work for the shows. So Stagecraft is an awesome class where they can really dig in and they don't have to be in front of people. So that's a lot. There's one more slide, and it's a lot. It's way too much information, but there you go. So a lot of offerings. And we hope your student will find a place in our community here in performing arts. This is their home. And we make music, we put on performances, and I hope to see you all at one of our performances sometime. They're coming up all year. So please do consider attending, and we look forward to working with your children. So I'm going to invite Joe Kearns up from physical education.
Hello, everybody. I'm Joe Kearns. I have done a lot of teaching and coaching of different sports here. I also used to teach at Grafflin, one of the elementary schools. Before that, I subbed in every building. And I did graduate from here. What's kind of cool is I've already spotted like 6 or 7 people that I went to high school with, which is pretty cool. But also, if you didn't grow up in this area and you didn't go to high school here, that has to be a good sign. Why are this many townies coming back? Why is this guy teaching here? There must be some good things happening here. And it's kind of cool. When I first came back, I didn't notice that many families that had gone here. And now it's just like crazy. So many of my friends have moved back, or people that I knew. And I think that is a town of a strong educational system, not just about the books and the phys ed classroom, but also just about the way we're making people feel. So you've heard tonight about rigor and the kids using their grit and working hard and so much academic stuff. And then, I mean, the music, 3 slides for music. Like, this place is pretty intense, right? So you really need, I'm just going to flip to my next slide, please. Thank you. So you need some of this. And what this is all about is this isn't playtime. This is becoming physically literate. So there's physically active. We know what that means. Like maybe your kid plays a sport, he makes a team. That's awesome. That's a really cool thing to do. I coached football here for years, baseball, lacrosse. I've coached everything. It's wonderful to get those kids out there. They're not becoming physically literate. Yes, they are active. And we'll hear them say sometimes, like, Coach, I got practice after school. Why do I have to be here now? Because you're learning different things here now. And you're learning how to be healthy for the rest of your life, which is why I will always argue it's the most important subject taught. Not everybody's going to agree with me, so all the department chairs are here tonight. Don't get mad at me. But it is so important for the rest of your life, not just like when you leave here and you go to college. So we're teaching games and activities that they can play for the rest of their life. We are teaching them how to use the fitness center. We're teaching them how to exercise. We're teaching them about cardio and what that means, and about strength training and what that means. And we're teaching them that there's like 1 billion games that you can play with a net in front of you, and they're really fun for young people in phys ed, but they're also really fun as you get older. And then we're watching like elderly people are getting super into pickleball now. Like, that's pretty cool. Well, we're learning it right now, so it's good stuff, and we have great kids, and we're excited to meet your kids in the fall. Just so you know a little bit about our program as they graduate out of freshman year. Freshman year, we teach them a little bit of everything. We move through units, and they get kind of a taste of everything we can possibly teach down there in the gymnasium. And then sophomore, junior, senior year, they get to choose elective classes. So if they're super into weightlifting, they can take the weightlifting class. If they're very into yoga and Pilates, they can take the Fit for Life class. If they're really into traditional phys ed games, they can take that class. So we like to give them options, because at the end of the day, we're not trying to make their life miserable, right? It's not like, oh, we got to go to gym. It's like, no, we want you to enjoy moving. Most people, when they move, choose something they want to do. They're not like, I'm going to go do this because I hate it. It's like, I know I have to move to be healthy. Let me do something that's really fun, something I enjoy. So that's what we're trying to do. Last but not least, this is a class they should do well in, because it is 100% in their control. If they show up and they're prepared, so that's like the same as every other class, right? Show up and prepared, and they'll know what that means. And then they participate. They show effort. Now, there's different levels of effort, and those levels will get graded differently. But if they go top effort, we do not care what type of athlete they are. It's not varsity basketball where 12 guys or 12 girls are going to make the team. This is an effort-based class. It might be the only one, like most classes, right? At some point, you can show up every day, be prepared, try real hard. At some point, you have to put something on the paper, right? And then it's like, oh, how'd you do on that test? This is, oh, you brought it, and this just isn't your game. Well, guess what? You brought it, and you got a 4.0 because you brought it every day. So it truly is effort-based, which is something that I love. We're taking everything out of the equation except, can you come and bring it every day? And hopefully through this, all of that rigor and all that classroom stuff and talking about colleges when your kids are in 8th grade, hopefully we're reducing some of that stress. I've never seen a stress reduction plan that didn't have physical activity in it. All right? Cool. Thank you. Oh. Mr. Kevin Kuzma.
Thanks, Joe. So I might not have gone to school here, but long-time legacy for a lot of you. You might have had my father back in Roaring Brook. He was the athletic director here, the basketball coach, football coach. I coached here for a while, too, in lacrosse. But I am the science department chair, and I'm going to go over what the new 9th grade curriculum would look like. All right. So when the shakeup kind of happened, we were tasked with coming up with a set of courses, and the science department kind of sat down and we talked about what it would look like. And we said that there's a few common goals that we wanted to have for the 9th graders. And so we're developing a set of skills that we think all 9th graders should have to help them become better as they move through our curriculum. We want them to be very good at analyzing and understanding problems and what happens when things change, what happens when data changes, what happens when constraint changes. And so we're developing courses with that in mind. We want them to understand that all around them, there's science. There's a lot of science all around them, and that they need to be involved at being good observers, getting involved with their hands, their eyes, and just seeing everything. We want them to inspire to become good STEM students so they continue on with their careers in science, engineering, or math in some way, shape, or form. And lastly, honestly, we want to see them get inspired by these courses so they stay for a full 4 years worth of science. So the courses are going to look like this. We're going to have 4 courses in which they're going to be semester-long courses. All right? We're recommending that a student takes one of each type of course, one life science, one physical science. That way they get exposed to 2 different buildings, one being the SRC building or our greenhouse, the other one being our STEAM center. That is a recommendation that we believe strongly in because it allows them to be exposed to 2 different types of sciences in an application-based system. However, there are 4 total courses. They may choose and mix and match how they see fit. They do need to pick 2, but again, at our level, we really believe they should take one of each so they can see both of the buildings and how the application of those sciences are used within those buildings. All right, so the 4 courses. Again, in Decisions Catalog, the blurbs are written, and so you could read the blurbs. But the Citizen Science, Ecology, and Action, the original blurb when we went to the middle schools and we had a feedback session with them, it was a straight, what does a field ecologist do? And when the students listen to us, they say, wow, that sounds great. We do a little bit of that right now. My wife happens to be at Seven Bridges. She does the invasive species. They go out through the woods. They do all that stuff. They start to draw. And that was the impetus for this course. And God knows, I mean, every spring I'm out there ripping bittersweet down off my trees and you just can't keep up with it. But the idea is, how do we get our students to become aware of all the different things that are going on? A good field ecologist. But then we had a secondary course which we wanted to run the following year, which is called biomimicry. They asked us about it. And biomimicry for us is looking at nature and then inspiring technologies from it. For example, Velcro from burrs. Right? Velcro came out of the idea of burrs. The modern day technology you'll see football players and lacrosse players wearing now is a Q collar, it's called. It goes around the neck, it prevents concussions. That came out of woodpecker and rams that batter their heads together studies. So that kind of idea. So a field ecologist, they're going to observe, and then they're going to take those ideas and use them in a way. So that's the purpose of that course. The genetic code, we heard loud and clear, they love genetics. They see at the middle school, they see a lot of genetics. They want a deep dive. So they'll be using, we got a grant last year from our CSF on biotech equipment. And so we want to use that in a way that the kids get exposed to some of this equipment pretty soon in their lives so they can use it as they maybe go on to do AP Bio or AP Environmental Science. And so it was originally designed around that equipment. We, again, heard from our students, we really want to see what is it like to be, use genetics in forensics. And so we started saying, okay, how can we bring some forensics? So then we started looking at synthetic bloods and things like that. And so there are parts of that where they get to look at the genetics of synthetic bloods we bring and things like that. Really exciting. The kids were really, really happy about the genetics course. Then we had, during that feedback, we only had 1 physical science course. And the student said, that was good, but we see these other courses here. And so we brought back the information. We split the courses up, and what we came up with was Energy Odyssey, which for those of you that know physics, this is basically mechanical energy, how we're going to transfer mechanical energy or mechanical to electrical or electrical back to mechanical will be wrapped up inside that course. They'll be doing things like roller coasters or solar or wind power, things like that. Small, not big ones, small little roller coasters that go around where they go into the STEAM Center, again, build roller coasters, maybe build Pinewood Derby cars or something to that effect. And so they'll be looking at mechanical and electrical. Then we said, we had another course called Natural Disasters. And again, we were looking at it. And the tie between the 2 courses is the idea of energy. So this is going to be wave energy, but now we're going to look at it through a medium. The medium could be the earth, right? Looking at earthquakes, looking at tsunamis, but it could also be through sound and any other type of medium that lends towards good learning. Again, getting into the STEAM Center and building around that. The last thing is light. light doesn't need a medium. So they're going to take a look at how wave energy interacts with light and how light comes about. And what that ends up doing is it hits a couple of topics that, I teach physics here. We don't get to do much in terms of resonation, light, and waves because the AP curriculums that a lot of our kids sign up for stop at magnetism. And so they don't get to see some of the more enjoyable parts of physics, I believe. And so we decided to give them an opportunity to see that course in 9th grade. So if they do leave Greeley, they've at least been exposed to it and say, wow, I wonder a little bit more about that. So that was the basis for the 4 courses. And we're really excited about these courses. We have some of our AP teachers putting the courses together, and like I said, it's going to be an exciting time for them. I think the hardest part is them trying to choose which course, because I think they were pretty excited about some of the courses. And so those would be the 4 courses they would come and enter and do. After this, they would move on to chemistry, and then they continue on through our science curriculum. But we're hoping it really inspires them to see which path they want to go, and that was the purpose behind the 4 different courses. So I look forward to seeing your students in 9th grade next year, and have a great night. Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Hi, everybody. Nice to be here. Good evening and welcome. I'm Sheila Jacob, the chair of the Social Studies Department, and I've been here at Greeley since 1997. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Unlike the science offerings, we don't have much choice in social studies, so I'll be very brief. Next year, your students will be enrolled in Global History and Geography 9. It's the first year of a 2-year world history sequence, which culminates in a Regents exam at the end of the 10th grade. A team of teachers collaborate and plan together with the goal of all 9th graders having a similar experience in social studies. 9th graders learn about world history from early humans to 1750, and 10th graders pick up at 1750 and explore events to the modern day. And finally, if you have a student who's interested in business, we have a variety of business electives, but for 9th graders, there are 2 business elective options. They're Intro to Business and Personal Finance and Investing. Now on to Visual Arts with Katie Manelli.
Hi, everybody. My name is Katie Manelli, and I'm here to tell you about some of the really exciting new and existing 9th grade options for next year. So first semester, students take something called visual dynamics, and it's sort of like in other schools it's called studio art. It's really aimed at, our focus is visual literacy and the creative process. So I really want to highlight the creative process because similar to music, a lot of students we hear saying, I'm not sure I'm good enough for high school art. I'm really bad at art. I can only draw stick figures. It's really about process, right? So again, we're meeting students where they are, and we're really creating an art community. So our 4 units that we focus on, the pillars of visual dynamics, are culture and identity, narrative, community, and then lastly, advocacy. And the reason for that is we're really trying to touch upon that really special place of not just like art as a standalone entity, but really art and how it relates to the self, and then how it relates to your relationship with art and yourself outside of the walls of Greeley. Our guest resources are the student assistance counselor and then also the media research specialist, Ms. Shembri. So on to the choices for second semester, and I want to emphasize to make your choices now. So we are lucky to have lots of different options for second semester of next year of 9th grade. So after visual dynamics, students have the option to go to Intro to Drawing and Painting, Intro to Sculpture, Intro to Fashion, Intro to Industrial, Intro to Photography, Intro to Graphic Design, and then lastly, Intro to Filmmaking. So there is a tremendous amount of choice, which is really, really exciting, but can also be overwhelming. So if I could just go to the next slide. Do I have the option of going to the next slide? Thank you. So the reason that we do so many different things in visual dynamics, we expose students to lots of different mediums in studio art, in visual dynamics. We do photography, we do sculpture, we do printmaking, we do some fine arts, we do drawing and painting. So students can really make an informed choice of sort of like what their interest is, and so that they can choose their second semester artwork. So I split this up into just like 4 different categories. So we have 2D, which is here, our photography classes and our graphic design. After that, we have our 3D classes. So we have our industrial design, sculpture, fashion design. We have a second slide of 3D work. Furniture design, jewelry making, architecture. And then we have our multimedia electives, which are stuff, artist activism, entrepreneurial art, filmmaking. And then lastly, we have our drawing and fine art elective. So as you can see, there's a tremendous amount of choice. It's very exciting. Once again, my name is Katie Armanelli. That's my email address. I wanted to say on behalf of the art department that we all really love art, but we really love teaching art. So we're really excited to see all your students next year and see you all, and it's going to be great. I want to introduce Isabel Irizarry.
So, buenas noches. My name is Isabel Irizarry, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the 9th grade options for world language. So, language is dynamic, communication, connection, all of these things are changing. So we regularly come together as a department, collaborate with community members and especially students to inform our programs and our course options. So as a department, our goals are 4 years of languages to support proficiency growth in our student as global citizens. We really believe in curiosity, creativity, and compassion to create a brave space where our students can take risks and can grow as language learners. We believe in the importance of having students in all of our different classes have similar experiences in their language or languages so that all students can find different points for success. Also, multilingual and multicultural experiences that center authentic language and culture are found in every single course that we offer in our department. So as 9th grade options, most of the 8th graders will have taken French, Latin, or Spanish. When they come to the high school and they want to continue with the same language, they will find themselves either going to level 2 or level 9 for modern languages, with level 9 ending in the AP course. Students who speak Spanish will also be able to have the opportunity to take Spanish for Spanish speakers accelerated, which is, so, por ejemplo, si ustedes hablan español en la casa, esa es la clase para ustedes. Not only will students be able to take these classes to continue languages, but we have many students that take another language as well. So in our additional options, students can choose to study of a second or a third language. We also have students that decide, you know, I want to start fresh, I want to start something new. They can start Chinese, Mandarin Chinese, French, Latin, or Spanish at the level 1. And they'll be with other students who are also beginning their journey in that language. Again, if a student wants to continue, they can take level 2 or level 9, and in addition, continue with a new language in level 1. Our newest course as a department is the AP, go back for a second, that's okay. Our newest course is the AP Chinese course. So 9th graders are able to take this course if they speak Mandarin. You can go to the next one. Thank you. So again, as a world language department, you can see from the different activities that we do as a department, students may take Mandarin Chinese, French, Latin, Spanish. They may take more than one language. We have many students that take 2 languages. And you can speak with the student, with their 8th grade teacher, with the counselor to find the best choice or choices for them. And again, just to highlight our newest exciting courses, which are AP Chinese and Spanish Speakers Accelerated. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I know that was a lot of information. Before we leave for tonight, I just wanted to highlight the handouts that were outside. You can use a QR code to scan them, or if there's available copies. We have a green one that tells you who's a who's who at Horace Greeley. This wonderful pink one with the bell schedule on top. Behind it is a paper copy of our 9th grade course options and offerings for 9th grade. So this was referenced a lot tonight. If you want to look through it, there was also a digital copy sent through Parent Square directly to you. And lastly, if you have any information about athletics, it's available on the orange slip and the Greeley Boosters flyer. And to close out the evening, I'm going to invite Dr. Seppi back up.
Again, I want to thank you all for coming tonight. We appreciate you coming out. And as I said in the beginning, I used the word opportunity. You can see from the array of courses, your children have amazing opportunities. We're here to support you on this journey. If you have any questions, please contact us, and we hope you have a safe ride home. Thank you.